Dropped in black into red lit skies, smoke in my lungs, depth in my eyes, marching through the crater fields with a tank on my back and vengeance sealed. The bugs swarm forth, the bots march loud, but fire speaks when the gun's not proud. I paint the dark with cleansing light, a sacred purge in the dead of night. And it burn, let 'em scream. Fire is the voice of a patriot's dream. Trust the swarm, cleanse the night. Ashes for democracy, baptized in light. Every step is a funeral song for the ones who thought they could belong on Super Earth. There's just one rule: if it breathes and it's not us, then it's fuel. They beg, they crawl, they hide, they cry, but flame don't care about who or why. I pull the trigger, feel the roar, I watch the flames melt away the crimes of war. Let it burn, let 'em scream. Justice tastes like gasoline. Clean the hive, scar the sky. We die for truth and kill for the lie. It told me this was righteous pain, but I see ghosts in the fire and rain. Still I burn, still I breathe, for the world they said we'd leave. Let it burn, no turning back. The flames are flag, a final act. No heroes welcome, just the heat. Enemies of Super Earth die at our feet. I lit the match, I said the vow. No one survives the fire, but now glory to Super Earth. Somehow.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back for this week's episode of Pod 3 Podcast. And this time we are reporting in from the front lines of Super Earth's eternal war for blood, oil, and democracy. I'm ClanDoranGaming.
And I'm Farsy. How's it going? If your deployment felt harder, you're not wrong. I happened to take fire to the face and died immediately upon the last patch.
Yeah, the latest update has definitely officially escalated the war. We're talking automaton heavy assault walkers and city map invasions now. We've actually got bots in cities, and that has been something I know some of the A-teamers, especially Salty, has been looking forward to that, and go figure it drops while he's off on vacation.
I mean, that'll teach him.
I know,
on
right?
Vacation, this is what happens.
See, this is what happens when you try and spend time with your family. How dare you, Salty? So, yeah, let's get right into this. We've got our little introduction out of the way, and I think it's time, Farsy, we told the story of how our channel got its name. So let's give the people the story, the official origin story for Pod 3. You want to start this one off, or should I?
So, yeah, Pod 3 Podcast got its name from the fact that there are 4 pods within Helldivers, obviously, if you play Helldivers too. And the third pod was always the redheaded stepchild of the pods. For whatever reason, I don't entirely know exactly how it got started, but somehow everyone was always joking about how gross Pod 3 was. And like gross as in it needed to be cleaned or whatever, yada yada. So when we were joking about making a pod cast for the two of us to do, we were like, hey, let's call it this. And thus Pod 3 was born.
Yeah, and by the time I caught on to the joke, it was like that was the debauchery pod. Like,
Yes.
it was Pod 3 was essentially the red light district of the 4 pods on your ship. So
Yes.
I just kind of played into it because naturally my brain is in the gutter anyways. My brain is the gutter. When your
I was
mind
just say
goes
your
there,
brain is the gutter.
yeah, when your brains go to the gutter, it owes mine rent. Here we go. Let's get right into segment 1, and we've got some actual footage to go along with this too. So let me go ahead and first and
While he's
foremost,
pulling that up, so you guys know, we are going to be doing some new short form formatting for our channel, doing some much shorter little podcasts because let's face it, both of us are awesome at procrastinating.
and terrible at editing. You guys have seen how I've been doing with the editing so far. Don't sugarcoat it. I'm terrible and I know it. So I'm working on it, but in the meantime,
We'll get there.
it's gonna help me have to edit a little bit less. You'll see some of my shoddy editing in the background with severe cuts between scenes and stuff like that. But while I'm learning how to get better at editing, it would be nice if our viewers didn't have to suffer through watching so much of my bad editing. Yeah, let's get on with this new Walker. I'll let you start off with it, with what you were about to say.
So this Walker, I was like, why do I suddenly feel like I have a grenade launcher lobbing all these grenades, which happens to be showing right at this moment?
Yeah,
This is the new beef
it's
up Walker, guys. It is no joke. It is massive and it is not solo friendly.
dude. This is the Hulk's really angry younger brother who got sick of the Hulk picking on it as a child, and now it has to compensate for all the crap it took. That is
I mean,
this mech. It or not mech, this Walker. This is absolutely the picked on younger sibling of the Hulk. We got our first look at it just kind of right in here. We weren't expecting to run into it here. We were on one of the swampy planets. I call them Space Dagobah. But we ran into it on one of the swamp planets. I was thinking we were going to hit it up in one of the city biomes, but the game absolutely surprised me there. And it just kind of came stomping in through the fog. It was one of those moments where, in the movies where you see just the barest silhouette, and it's always that
yep.
guy that is about to die because he's trying to look into the fog and figure out. Yeah, that was me.
Yep.
I was just like, what the hell is. And next thing I know, it's like, oh. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So what would you say would be your best counter that you found from it?
The counter, a lot of diving, and a heavy pen weapon right to the back of it, like where I guess you would say where the quote unquote butt cheeks would be. Right at the hip area, it's got the 2 little vents, like what's on the back of tanks, what's on the back of Hulks. They're just a lot smaller. So
Gotcha.
if you can get behind it, you can absolutely hit it in the vents and blow its entire ass out, phrasing. And it's a done deal from there. But I'll tell you what, if you try and approach it from the front, you're in a world of pain. This new mech, I was walking at it full firing both with the missile pod and the mounted autocannon on the mech. It did nothing. Or if it did do something, it was not enough to do anything other than annoy it. It completely emptied out the missile pod and was still standing. I continue to fire with the auto turret. It completely drains all the ammo and is just staring at me like, is that all you got? Like, come on, give me some more. Like, bro, let's go. Both barrels. Quit being a bitch.
And you're like, but I've already given you both my barrels.
It's like, bro, I don't got anything left. Is this how married men feel if their wife is still ready afterwards? It's like, bro, there's nothing left in me. Either your railgun with an overcharge, that would be a really good one, or if you can manage to get behind it with the anti-tank emplacement, you know, the drop down, the lazy boy of death. If you can get that behind it, you're golden. I've tried using gas against it. Don't. It's gonna breathe that shit in, be like, bet, and come back for seconds. It does nothing. I have not tested the EMP strikes. The only orbital I've tried on it is the 500. Pretty effective, as per usual. And the gas, which, all pun intended, went over like a fart in church. It does not work whatsoever.
It just does not. And then I run into it and go, what the? Oh, anyway.
It's just like, bruh.
Yeah.
Did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to let it linger? So let's go and swap this over to the next scene here, if it wants to actually swap. Come on. There we go.
So
this should be
now
the
we're going
mega
into
city.
the mega city. Now, if you played the defense of the Super Earth, you kind of know what the mega cities are. Like they're the big, gigantic skyscrapers. You get hard locked sometimes into, well, a lot of times, into where you can land. There's just, you'll come around the corner and be like, oh no, and have to run the other way. Yeah, definitely interesting. And I'm so glad they're back because I really enjoyed the mega cities, and I was sad when they were gone.
Yeah, I was too. And I have not yet had a chance to get into one of the Illuminate mega cities because I guess they've converted them now, the ones that they've taken over, down in
really?
like the Illuminate. Yeah, it's
interesting.
Like you go in there and the skyscrapers now look like they came out of the like the Matrix. You know how all the people are plugged in like into pod, like you can't see in and you can't see like humans in them, but it's that kind of
know
structure.
what they are.
Yeah, it's that kind of structure. It looks like a bunch of human battery pods that are just spiraling up the sides of the skyscrapers.
Interesting.
So I've heard of it and I've seen it in other people's content. I have not yet had a chance to go and experience it for myself. So I've got to go and do that. And definitely these mega cities, it's take the Super Earth mega cities and put in some automaton flags. You've pretty much got the run-of-the-mill idea of how these cities are going to go. They're just a lot smaller, whereas, you know, obviously Super Earth is practically like Coruscant from Star Wars. For those of you who get that reference, the whole planet is just one giant, you know, city upon city upon city.
Right.
And this is just a lot more small scale. You can find portions of the map that are, or of the planet, that are all one giant city, and then you'll go and find a mission there. You'll be in the city biome. So it's not like you can go outside of the city if you're on a city mission.
Right. And you don't have the, like when we were playing the mega cities before with the Illuminate squids, whatever, you could kind of filter them into like death corridors. You can't do that necessarily here. You can, but you can't because they filter you into death corridors too. It's not very fair.
These guys, I don't know. Like the automatons fight definitely a bit different. They will send in a lot of the little guys to just kind of lure you in because of course we're Helldivers. We're gonna go in, we're gonna scrap some small walker bots and be done with it. And then they'll have, a whole bunch of those in a small alleyway, and then unbeknownst to you, at the end of the alleyway, obscured by fog, is like 2 Hulks and one of the new assault walkers or some shit like that. They
Or a
actually,
500 waiting for you. I mean,
if you have a code diver named Farsy, yeah, there's also
I don't know
that.
what you're talking about.
You lie. Anyways, these missions definitely feel very, very different.
Hmm.
You're not just
Very much different.
fighting the enemies in stairwells or on broken catwalks or in cratered streets in territory that they are unfamiliar with. Like, it's almost like the automatons still have a little bit of the memory from when they were cyborgs and before that when they were still human, because these guys seem to understand what they're doing on the field of battle. These guys don't feel like an invading force.
Yeah,
These
like they know what they're
guys.
like they you see all the civilians running around and you're like, "Don't go that way." And then they do and you're like, "Their lives were in your hands." Well, that was your first problem.
Yeah. It's like, well, you see, their first mistake was putting their lives in our hands. Their second mistake was not listening to us when we took that seriously. We
And
tell
please,
you turn around. It does not mean continue on in same direction.
please, for the love of all things Super Earth, stop calling in orbital lasers into the cities. I legit brought in a laser and it obliterated everything around the objective. But the objective was just like, meh, we're good.
Yeah, the orbital laser is just not great for the city biome.
It's
Um,
really not.
you'll want to use like an orbital precision strike or just stick with the tried and true method of throwing a 500 at it. You'll at least know if you get it close enough, it's gonna die. Unless it's
Right.
one of those objectives that requires a hell bomb. Like, I want to say the automaton, the drop ship fabricators. I
Yes.
think those require a hell bomb.
And multiple today for some reason.
Yeah, they were really. I don't know if the automatons upped the density of their armor or what, but we had to use at least 2 or 3 hell bombs on a single objective, and it was still standing. It's just like, bro, this this never took this much before. What's going
In
on
fact, we were
here?
just showing it. Yeah, we just showed it. Oop, and
Yeah,
then the canning turret got you.
yeah, and then the cannon turret, it told me
It's like,
exactly
oh,
what it
bet.
thought of our tactics. Oh, you dropped 2 hell bombs on me? Bet you have no face now, or entire upper half of your torso. It's just that splattered on the wall behind me now.
So what I know personally, what I have to do a little differently now is like, obviously, I'm not bringing in my laser. Well, I did, but because that's just like my go-to. It's always been laser 500, the cannon laser, and then my jump pack. And I felt that my normal loadout was not going to cut it in these new biome, this new big mega city biome, even though it cut it just fine in Squidward biome.
Yeah, and even like a lot of people give me shit for my loadout because you know me, I'm a pyro diver. I usually have my flamethrower with me.
Right.
This is one of the first times I've truly felt that their criticism is actually justified. Like before,
Hmm.
I just didn't care because like you could still kill everything the same way. You just had to do it differently. You actually had to act like you were throwing fire at something rather than just dousing them in it. You had to like spray the floor in front of them and have them walk into it for the best effect. You actually had to think and use 2 brain cells and a trigger finger instead of just the trigger finger. And
Wait, we're supposed to have brain cells?
yeah, I know, let's not get started on
Dang.
that. But anyways,
Anyway,
it completely reworked how you had to use the flamethrower, and now it feels like it's done that all over again. Like I have to figure out how best to utilize my flamethrower all over again.
mhm.
Because the bots just feel like they can take more heat, honestly. Like, not even pun intended on that. Like, these guys feel like they can take way more heat than they used to.
They're much tankier than they used to be. I feel, but I do like that I can at least. It used to be I couldn't light the big ones on fire, like your Hulks and stuff like that. And now I feel like, oh wow, I actually lit that one on fire. Okay, I'm walking off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
But I have to work at it.
you actually just saw with the like, because I don't know why, I just kind of did it in the moment, but I sprayed the tank in front of me with fire, and right before you threw your thermite, you could actually see some of the fire sticking. Like, so
Mhm.
even tanks and stuff will to some degree catch on fire. Now, granted, it probably wasn't going to do anything to it, um, but you get where I'm saying. Like, it at least had an effect.
Right.
Even if that effect wasn't very much, if it was only just for looks and like, hey, it made me feel better, I fucking got caught the tank on fire, you know? So
Yep.
things catch on fire a lot quicker, a lot easier, and if it's a unit that is meant to be damaged in that way, it feels like it actually has more of an effect once they do. Like, maybe
Right.
it takes a little bit longer to actually make them catch, but once they catch, you actually feel like you're burning them. You don't just feel like it's Johnny Storm about to say flame on and then just be okay with it.
Right.
Whereas that was kind of how I felt before. You know, you could light someone on fire, or you could light an automaton on fire, and they'd still walk at you, shooting at you. Like, granted, that's great for a Terminator feel, but, you know, in actual practice, it's freaking annoying. It's like, no,
Yeah.
your circuits should be deep fried right now. Your servo motors should be malfunctioning at this point.
If you've ever played a computer in the dead of the summer in Phoenix, you understand.
100%. So after this, it definitely, like, I can absolutely say playing in the urban biomes, this this is something like the whole bots in the urban biomes in the cities. This is amazing. I feel like we need to have Terminator music blaring. Like, this feels like the final war that used to get depicted in the Terminator movies.
Hmm.
Like in the very beginning of Judgment Day, when they just show that very short little snippet of what the future war looks like. That is how this made me feel. You know, I don't know. Call it nostalgia bait, I guess, but it absolutely hit me in the childhood to be able to fight in the city against Terminator or against Automaton. See, now I'm even thinking of them as Terminators,
Ah.
but
Personally, I loved it. Like, and I still love it. Let's try that again. Robots. We'll go with that. Terminators. They've always been the thing that I enjoyed fighting against best. Like, I was never a big fan of bugs. Squids or whatever. But bots were where I enjoyed. It's where I cut my teeth. It's how I joined the game. And so to have them in the mega cities and watch you get folded by a walker time and time again.
bananas.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, twice it happened. Had
But
to flip it. Just
see,
saying.
and you cut your teeth over on the automaton front. As much as I really don't like to admit this, I do have to come out and say I started out on the bug front. It was that whole, you know, LARPing, the whole fantasy of, hey, Starship Troopers, but then
Mhm.
I grew out of it. I'm not a roach diver. I'm now getting to the point where after, you know, cutting my teeth on the bugs, then I move over to the bot front, and that was roughly, you know, just shortly before I ended up in Salty's Discord. I was getting more acclimatized to the bot front. Then I get in Salty's Discord, and I end up, you know, gaming out with you guys with some dedicated bot divers. And then I was just waiting on squids to come in, and I was all die hard to be a squid diver, and I still do consider myself a squid diver. My stats don't say so. Technically, if we were going by stats, I'd still be a bug diver. Most of my
I'm
kills
sorry.
are on the bug front. Yeah, I know, I am too. It makes me want to go jump in a vat of E710 and light it.
That's fine.
But yeah, build for mobility and suppression.
Okay.
Breaker shotguns, machine guns. Your medium and heavy pen is going to be your go-tos. Granted, I know heavy pen doesn't really leave us a whole lot of leeway. Your double-edged sickle would do great. If you're like me, you're a pyro diver, you're going to be on fire most of the time anyway. Might as well take the double sickle, get in that heavy pen, and keep yourself stimmed. buddy up with someone. Buddy up with someone who's running medic armor. Like, if you can get a medic and pyro diver team going, these missions are going to be so much fun. Fighting against automatons is going to be your bread and butter.
Just
That's
make
just
sure
my
that that
opinion.
person who runs the medic armor isn't going to come up and just push the button that makes your backpack go off.
It helps if you're not wearing the Mujahideen backpack. That would help.
I just, I need a stim. Okay, pushes button. I mean, that's one way to get a stim.
Yeah, I mean, listen, stim, emergency revive, either way, your health bar is full. If you've unlocked the hover pack, absolutely get it. You are going to want to hop up to whatever higher ground that you can get. Just don't be like Anakin. Don't try and take the high ground when you know you can't get it. If you see high ground in there and you know you can get some great shots off on a Hulk or whatever, or you want to rain fire down from above, bring a hover pack. It is absolute god tier until the automatons want to sit there and play duck hunt and you're the duck. Not that that's ever happened to me before. Scratches head, shuffles feet nervously.
Not that Dutch has ever, shot you out of the
Oh
sky
my
in a hover.
god, yes. I watched that short, and as funny as it is, I still think he did it on purpose, and that just makes it funnier because it's like, oh no, what have I done? And that seems like Dutch's style, especially after he like schwacked the hell out of your husband in a mech because he thought it was a Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, look, a Hulk. And then he's like, kaboom. And he's like, what's going on? It's
And
brand new Hulk.
to
It's not new
Dutch's
anymore.
to Dutch's credit, we were fighting the Illuminate at the time, and I can't blame him for mistaking me as the elevated overseer. Because I was literally just hovering pretty much right above him, and he just like pops up and it's just like,
I'll be back in.
I died by Dutch Butters. What happened here? Oh, that was you. I just start laughing because now I instantly know what happened.
It's like, oh no. Anyway, yeah,
But
gotta love it.
all in all, this update is absolutely a serious shakeup. The Walker adds in some really nice higher tier threat escalation. The urban missions add chaos and, some familiarity. That verticality I was just talking about, using the hover pack to flank and do all that. The squad pressure. Like, if you play like me with a good majority of your HUD off and you don't have that little badge above your friend's head saying, hey, this is a friendly, you really have to PID your targets when you're trying to discern a Helldiver from a Super Earth civilian, from one of the automatons. Like, everything looks the same in the fog of war, especially if you're operating on just sheer reflex. Like, if you just kind of pop a 180, you see something moving in the shadows, you're just like, okay, you're dead. And then it's like, oh, whoops, that was a teammate. Or, whoops, there goes 500 credits because I just slaughtered an entire group of civilians. Whoopsie.
Too fun.
Either way, all in all, I gotta say this, I suck at giving things ratings, but I do want to say this is at least a 7, maybe a little bit more, but not an 8. Like, I'd definitely say 7, 7.5 when it comes to ratings. This is amazing, and it's definitely one of the more fun updates since the Illuminate finally came out of the giant space butthole. You have no idea how long I waited. Like, I sat around.
I can only imagine.
I was part of the way, like, I don't know when you came into Helldivers, but I've been here since a week after release. I helped make that giant space butthole, and I've been waiting for the calamari cocksuckers to come out of there since then.
I'd been playing since day one. First day that I actually was able to get in, because if you remember the
all the
debacle
connection
that
issues.
was. Yeah, all the connection issues. Finally get in. We're on a 4. Now, mind you, never played this game before, so I had no idea we're on bugs. We're on a 4. Christ ends up dropping. It crashes him out of our game. Well, he can't get back in. So I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie with the Bow Titan, and Then we go to the next one, and I end up killing him 4 times in a row, and I'm like, "Yep, nope, I'm done. Shut down the game." And I didn't come back. It took him almost a year for him to get me to come back. He's like, "Just come play some bots with us. Just come play some bots with us." All right, fine. And here I am, and you're stuck with me, pushing your button to make you go kaboom.
Kaboom. But with all that being said, I do believe we've gotten to the end of our little spiel here. It was great being
Indeed.
able to check out the new update. The new Walker was absolutely amazing, and I can definitely see where everyone says it looks like the heck's that robot from RoboCop.
No
They keep
idea.
calling it Freddy, I guess, but I don't know if that's why
Oh,
what it was
Fred
called.
something something. Spartan named it something, Fred something, but we're calling it Freddy. We've got a
Yeah,
Steve, we've got a Freddy now, we've got a something else. It's Freddy.
yep. We've got nicknames for just about everything in here. But yeah, that is about all we've got for this week's little dispatch. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe for future episodes. And remember, liberty is not free, it's earned one orbital strike at a time.
And if you see that walker heading your way, don't be a hero. Be smart, be fast, be the distraction while your squad finishes the mission. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.